with poetic, historical, philosophical, and theological book. And slowly, slowly, we are coming towards the conclusion point. So finally, it is a dialogue. And in this dialogue, Muni make a prince monk who raised so many questions, and Mahavira answered peacefully with patience. So again, he is raising a big question, and it is again a philosophical question. Kim sadhyam sadhanam kincha kena tannam sadhyate sadhya sadhan sangani jigyasa mama vartate. Meg asked, O Mahavir Bhagwan, what is the end and what is the means? Who makes the dedicated effort to achieve the ends? I'm eager to understand the subject of end and the means. So the Sadhya Sadhan is very important philosophical aspect, and many philosophers discussed about it. The nature of soul is beneficial. It is alone the goal to attain the highest purity of soul and how to achieve. So mapping of this achievement we can see in the Sadhya Sadhan debate. Bhagavan Mahavir answered, Prasno Vatsa Duruhoyam Nanatven Vibhajyate Nana Ruchirayam Loko Nanatvam Pratipadyate. Bhagavan Mahavir said, O Vats, O my dear disciple, the question is very difficult. It has many divisions. People have different type of interests, and so there are different ends and different means. Some people believe that this universe is forever. Some believe no, it is not forever. And some are always skeptical about the existence of this lok. So they are not able to attain the spiritual end because always they are in the sunset. They are in the moving situation. And some other people, they have again one more difficult question in front of them, and that is Jivo Vidyate Nava. There is an existence of living beings or not, and they are always skeptical. And again, few people, they believe this world is moving. Vidyate nama karmedam nava karmepi vidyate. Is there the existence of karma theory? And the karma theory is saying, oh, what you do, you will get its result. But really, there is karma because karmas are not visible. And then some people say, yes, there is karma because where is action? There is karma. But we don't know. There is karma's result, karma phal. Because if there is a static soul, then there is action and then there is result of karma or not. Again, there is a sunset. So this is a whole chain of question. So result and end is also finalized after this chain. So If this question is clear, O Meg, do you believe the existence of soul, the existence of universe, existence of karma, and the existence of karma's result? Then we can go further. And if you don't believe in that, then it is very difficult to move towards the final end. And then Meg is ready to understand from Bhagavan Mahavir. Those who are spiritually elevated, these people can do progress in the field of this philosophical question. And this progress is available through the highest answering of these questions, the question of universe, the question of karma, the question of karma phal. So here Bhagwan making it more clear, those who are spiritually elevated and they seek to realize the only that soul which is not covered, which is not hindered, which is not diluted, and which is endowed with right belief, is able to attain the final end. So, three important terms: the soul which is not hindered. Then again, we have a question, because a common question, all soul, those who are worldly soul, we all have karma. So, why Mahavira says, not covered, niravrittascha. So, here, if the soul is totally covered, then there is no ray of light. So always soul has some gateways, some light is always there. And that is the line where we can understand that, look, the soul is soul and soul is not soul, non-soul. Because if the ray of the consciousness is not activated in the soul, then it is very difficult to believe in the soul. And then second thing, unhindered. When soul has its conscious power, it makes its own way through that power, through that consciousness. And then third word is nirmoho, which is not deluded. If the deluding karma is so intense, and in that situation, soul is not able to progress in the field of spirituality. You see, how many people are there? They have no work at the moment. They are at home, they have time, but they don't keep themselves connected with spirituality or religion, so called religion. But I can say they have time, they have money, they have everything, healthy body, but their mind is not in the religion. Why? Because the intensity of Mohaniya karma is so high and not giving them chance to indulge in spiritual or religious activities. And this is the case, very strong case. If Mohaniya karma is so high, people moving round and round, sometimes blaming corona, sometimes doing this, sometimes doing that, or sometimes spending their time in front of TV and movies and here and there, sometimes criticizing others, but they don't want to indulge because of their Mohaniya karma. And when the situation of Mohniya karma decrease, and then there is a freshness in the soul, and soul start thinking in a positive way, and that soul can indulge. So karma play an important role, and that's why Bhagavan Mahavir given the nirvrittischa nirvigno nirmoho drishti manaso atma shadid evasti sadhyamatma vidam nrinam. So those who are spiritually elevated seek to realize only that soul which is not covered, which is not hindered, which is not deluded, and endowed with right belief. Avaranasya vignasya mohasya drikcharitrayo nirodho jayate tene sanyama sadhanam bhavet. Now Bhagwan giving more explanation. The restraint, inhibited covering, hinders perverted belief and perverted conduct. Therefore, it is the means of attaining the end. So there is a mean, and that mean is sanyam. That mean is, that means is self-restraint. Atmanam sanyatam kritva satatam श्रद्धान वितः atmanam sadayet chantah sadhya prapnoti sadhruvam. Now it is more clear to Megha, and Megh Muni is now ready. Oh, the person who claims passionless, self-restraint, and is blessed with right faith and practices spiritual purification is able to attain the ultimate end. So now there is sadhan and
What
there is
notification?
sadhya. And through the
Alexa, what
sadhan and
notification?
sadhya,
Alexa,
person
what notification?
person can attain the final purity. So those who are really uplifted and those really want to uplift them, so they need to understand the right path, and the right path is samyak darshan, samyak jnana, and samyak charitra. And if we try to say in nutshell, then sanyam, the triad of sanyam, when all three together, our knowledge is right about the karma theory, about the Atma, and about the existence. And when our knowledge is right, then our drishti, our perspective is right. And when perspective is right, then we can follow the path. And that path is path of liberation. So Bhagavan Mahavir made it clear that, we have many types of body. Omega, sthula dehasya mukto. When we leave this body and we start the next journey, even in that situation, we have the body within the soul. You can say, oh, the gross body is living. When someone passed away, the body is left here, is not taking the body in the next life. Then what he's taking? The karmic baggage. And that karmic baggage is known as karman sharir, and that subtle body is always, until and unless the final means of liberation attained. So here, sthula body, and when the body, the karmic body moves, It is only material aggregate. It needs some power, and that power comes through Tejas body, and that Tejas body is like a fuel. When a rocket goes in the space, it is not taking everything from here, but it takes fuel, and because it has no station in the media, so it takes full fuel, and that fuel will be used in a rocket. And there are some generators, because some rockets are like Upagraha. They are not coming back to the earth. So they have their system, and they started generating their fuel, and they can move in a certain degree of the orbits. So similarly, when the gross body is here, one life is over, but next life is going to start. There is an intermediate way, and that intermediate way is not straight. Sometimes it is straight, sometimes it is not straight. It depends upon where a soul is going. So Bhagavan Mahavir made it clear, O make, even though when someone complete this life, he carry on the karmic baggage, and he carry on the body that is Tejas body, and then they start their next journey. Now again, the philosophy is so intense, and Meg is a young child monk. So he said, O Bhagavan, Indriya Gramam Chanchalam Vidyate Brisham Sanyama Kathamadheya Tatparyam Tasya Sadhana. O Lord, the group of senses, my sense organs, all the indriyas, touch, taste, smell, and all these five indriyas, these organs are unsteady. Mind is fickle. How can be restrained? Please explain the real significance of sanyam. Yes, I got the crux of this means is sanyam, self-control. But I am a child monk. So how I can control myself? Then Mahavira said, an ascetic should not eat unpalatable food, should not eat in a small quantity, or should practice kayotsarg, should practice asanas, and control the indriyas. Again, Bhagwan Mahavir mapped very scientifically. If your body is not in the control, if your indriyas are not in your control, it is really, really difficult for you to progress in the field of spirituality, because the field of spirituality is not easy, and the self-control start from the tongue. Some people, our eyes, they can see, they see only. Our nose, they taste and smell only. Our ear, listen, good and bad, listen. But our tongue has two type of work. One type is speaking, and sometimes speaks so harsh and create a Mahabharat. you know, Ramayana and Mahabharata, Kaikeyi. She's spoken, O King Dasrath, I want my two vardhan, two boons, and from one I want the exile of 14 years for Rama, and I want the other boon for crown for my son Bharat. How's he spoken? How's he? Because it is the tongue who tastes the food, but the tongue has to work. And she created whole Ramayana from it. And then similarly, The tongue create Mahabharata also. You know, sometimes it tastes nice food and judge it is good or it is bad. But when Draupadi said and laughed on Duryodhan, Andhe ka beta andha, a son of blind is son, himself blind. So, that one sentence started the first seedling of Mahabharata, a war, a great war between Kauravas and Pandavas. So, this tongue is very important. And that's why Acharya Mahapragya also given some practices that if we touch the tongue to the palate, keep it erect and straight, it will not harm so much. And meditation on the tongue, it is amazing. There is a Brahma Kendra, and he given us a big philosophy behind, because tongue is related to the reproductory organs. So it has a deep connection with the internal sentiments, internal bhavas. So those who meditate on the tongue, they can change their behavioral pattern. Tongue is very important. So the control of tongue in two means. Other indriyas have one department, but tongue has two major departments. Sometimes tongue has no control, and eating one special thing which he likes, she likes, and eating so much gulab jamun and gulab jamun and gulab jamun. But finally, what happened? Stomach upset, sugar level high, and other difficulties arise. And the other point, sometimes our tongue start criticizing and criticizing and criticizing. Again, binding the karma which are not visible. But tongue is very, very important. Sometimes grumble and mumble has no sass to speak, but inside and create a doubt and jealousy. So this is also work of tongue. So in this condition, Bhagavan Mahavir said, look, make, be aware. These sense organs are really, really difficult to control. They are like horses without any control. But when you have any horse and you have its reins in your hand, you can control them. Similarly, through the sanyam, through the asanas, through the meditative practices, you can control. And when you control, then your mind is also controlled. When food is controlled, when someone is fasting, someone is doing iron will, and during that time, they can feel the peace of mind is different. Their senses are less uh, chanchal or moving here and there. So that's why control on diet, control on body is very, very important. And finally, Shraddha. Shraddha means faith. Faith on the direction given by Bhagavan Mahavir. There is a faith, and that faith, oh, इनमेव निगंथम पावनम सत्यम, यह निर्ग्रंथ प्रवचन सत्य है. And when this faith starts, and then people are stable on their path. So it is very, very important. Then Bhagavan Mahavir said, yes, when this purity start, then there is no difficulty. One can attain salvation in a village, in a forest, or attain salvation anywhere else. And for that salvation, he need not to be a monk or not to be a monk. That is not important. Na munditena sramana, na cha omkarena brahmana, muni ranya vasena, kusachirair natapasah. One does not become a Sraman merely to be wearing the clothes. One does not become a Brahmin merely uttering Omkara, the sacred syllable. And no one became an ascetic merely by living in the forest or changing the cloth. But one have to be a real Muni, a real Shraman, and for that he need to follow the path of humanity as well. The entire humanity is one race, a keva manusi jati, and this is the practice of Samayik. Jati charena vibhajyate. Someone believe, oh, this is high, this is low status, and this is the only upper caste and lower caste. So Atma is beyond that. No, really, there is a meaning of the caste, creed, and color. Sometimes the outer color is dark, but inside so much purity. And sometimes there is no purity. Once a king thought, let me go to visit a temple. And king was always indulged in the work of kingdom, always busy. But one day he made up his mind and he announced that in next 2 weeks I have a plan. I want to go to visit the temple. And when that Pujari, when he heard, oh, in 2 weeks, king is about to come, and then what he did, let me do something. He first of all cleaned the temple nicely. Then he thought, let me decorate it. And then he bring about something to decorate. But then he thought, okay, still I have 2 weeks time in my hand. Let me uh, do some refurbishment. So he called a company to refurbish the temple nicely, and temple was refurbished and then nicely decorated. And what he thought, let me spend some money from my pocket. I should not worry because it is a public temple and public is giving me a very small amount of money. But when king will come, definitely all my poor situation will go away. So let me take a debt. So he taken a debt from some Mahajan. There was no bank, so definitely from some people. And he made a nice, beautiful situation. King visited. King was happy to see that temple and its decoration and Bhagwan. And finally, he put a donation in a cover. When king went back, the pujari came and he was so curious that today he got really a big donation for the temple. So he took that envelope in front of Bhagwan and he opened it. When he opened, he was really surprised and said, there is only 5 rupees. And in this situation, he thought, oh, what shall I do? I spent so much money. So how I can gain that money? But you know, People have their mind. So he kept that envelope in his hand and he started an auction in front of the temple in the market. Today, I want to auction the first donation and donation from the king, and that is in the envelope, and that envelope is in my fist. So I want to do an auction. Whoever want to take, they can bid. So people came. One person said 500 rupees. Then other thought, no, we should take, because after all, king came and we haven't seen him visiting temple. So after many years he came. So definitely there is some special type of jewel or something which is very, very precious. So the other one, he jumped and he said 10,000. Then 20,000. Then fourth one came 30,000. And finally, one thought, let me not lose this chance. And he came in and he said 50,000. And then, if some like 4 or 5 people bidding, and then it spread everywhere. Then many big merchant, industrialist, and some people also they came. They say 1 lakh rupees. Then someone bid 50 lakhs. And finally the words reached to the king. And then king thought, oh my God, what shall I do? I put in a cover and might be this pujari is not aware of it and just he is doing this auction. So might if people will open it and they came to know, oh my God, there is only 5 rupees. This is not good for me. So he reached in the market and he said, no, my donation towards the temple, it is not only temple, it is my precious thing in front of Bhagavan. So I want to take it. And he bid 1 crore. And finally, he came to the pujari and he said, what is in your fist? Give me. And then pujari says, oh my Lord, I don't know, you know what you put. So I seen this highest bidding, which is by you. So you take your thing. And the king took it. So if the envelope is closed, nobody knows £5 or £100 or something. But sometimes people do such things, and sometimes they do donation for the name, for the fame, and finally they are not winner, but they are loser. But when you give donation for the good cause, not to go for the name, because king was worrying. First he saved money, but he was worrying, oh my, I'm losing my name. And then finally he bid. Similarly, some people do the religious activities just for the show off, and that is not leading towards the final means of liberation. So very important, be crystal clear. What is the sadhya? What is the sadhan? What is important here to understand the means and end. When means is right and ends will be right. If means is wrong, then ends will be wrong. So have a connectivity. If means and the end have a synchronicity and towards the same goal, then a person can attain that perfectness. An enlightened soul says of the periphery mind, sense organs are very important, but they are sadhan. Your indriyas are helping you to gather the knowledge, to develop on the path of spirituality. Your mind is also helping you. But when mind and senses are not controlled with the self discipline, they become victim and immediately leads towards the wrong trap. So it is very, very important. Be aware the causes of bondage and be aware the right path. Therefore, the knowledge of the end and means is very important, very essential. And in this chapter, Acharya Mahapragyaji discussed beautifully the 13th chapter of Sambodhi. We are concluding slowly, that how he developed this mapping towards the liberation. So, very important to understand the sense organs and their utility and importance. Then, mind, and finally, the control over the sense organs and mind is very important. And how to do is, in nutshell, the synopsis is control the senses, control the mind, control the tongue, which has dual duties, and control the body and make your body a self-controlled and self-rested by the practice of asanas, meditation, pranayama, Om Arham. Now, floor is open for the questions. If you have any question, feel free to ask. No question? Oh, or is there muted? You can unmute yourself. So we are slowly moving towards the new year. And this year, JVB has a big plan. And that plan is, the first is, on the 31st, we have a purification meditation. Before we enter in the new year, we should purify ourselves. Second thing, so we have purification meditation, and then new year, as new year start, Samani ji will start the body mangal part, big mangal part, and then GVB prepared a big team of Bhaktamar, and the year was really buzzing with the Bhaktamar, but our journey is still ahead. So we will enter in this new year with musical Bhaktamar Simran. Our small kids presenting Bhaktamar with the musical instruments, and their parents and family will join. So it is really a great fun and great year to with the celebration and celebrating mode. So be ready and in announce to your friends and family that it really we are coming with a musical Bhaktamar Simran. And many of our kids, Gyansala kids, they have trained themselves with different types of musical organs and musical instruments. So they will play and they will sing, and whole family will sing the musical Bhaktamar Simran. So the now we are open to take their names, and I already got few names in my hand, and soon I'll get more names, And we will start as soon as New Year Mangal Path over. So, and we will complete it uh, 12 o'clock afternoon. So it is almost like 12 hours Bhaktamar. And people are really so excited about this. And that day we will get the message of His Holiness Acharya Mahashramanji and his Mangal Path also. So again, that is a big attraction for in the people. And also, we have another program on 3rd Sunday. We have International Samaik Day. So JVB is ready with Navnath Bhagni Mandal. So we have planned 1008 Samaik, and still might be we can cross 2-3,000 Samaiks also. So please spread the word, and soon we will pass on the flyer. So it is again a good event for this new starting of 2021. So we are really optimistic and with high hope and high resolution for the happy and blissful, peaceful, and progressive New Year. So, in this situation of the pandemic corona, but be aware. And Samani ji is giving training, and today also we have afternoon training of Bhaktamar at 1:30 to 2:30. Whoever want to, even the starting point of Bhaktamar, we are doing, and Bhaktamar lectures are going in different area of the globe from JVB London, so covering from Toronto, America, Colorado, Ireland, Sweden, and many other areas of the Eastern region, so up to Indonesia and Singapore and other countries. So we have this plan, and already some lectures are going on. So people are very much connected, and this global quiz on Bhaktamar given very, very good result. So 2-person first and second position from India, and lucky this year we have one candidate from London, our Vikas Gansala teacher, he got 3rd position. So yeah, so the Bhaktamar journey is going on, and still we have many more plans. So I'm looking forward this musical Bhaktamar Simran and have a fun and festive mood, and also purification of the mind, body, and soul. Omara.
Vandami, we are also going to have 2 yoga sessions beginning of the year.
Yeah, Hasubai, can you inform anything? Yeah, please say.
So Vandami Samani ji, Acharya Mahashraman se naman karta hu. We will have 2 yoga sessions.